Hey fanboys, hey fangirls, Carnell Holley here, and we're at Amazing Art Expo here in Atlanta. And I'm with none other than voice actor Ezra Weisz.
Hi, everybody.
Now, yeah, I just got introduced to the whole Amazing Art Expo.
Yeah.
This is a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Like coming down and finding out that it's a traveling thing, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, like I'm familiar with the voice acting element,
Right.
but the prominent platform for fan artists. Now that's totally different because normally I'm at other conventions and I'm sure you're a part of
Yeah.
that they're in a separate section, but you getting introduced to this, like how did you find out about this?
Well, I like to be involved in the anime convention circuit, and I've always loved the involvement of the fan art and artists alley that you might find at an anime convention, where sometimes they're professional artists and sometimes they're amateur artists that just have a passion for drawing and a passion for anime.
Right.
And I love their little setup booths. So the two things kind of like cross over a little bit, and the Amazing Art Expo really does put the artwork first, and it brings in the anime fans to look and enjoy and purchase at a great price these incredible works of art of their favorite shows, if it's Star Wars or Spider-Man, or if it's
I saw the
Spider-Man, right? And of course, we've got great anime titles. There's a lot of One Piece here that I've noticed. There's some Pokemon, and there's Kirby that's here. So there's a little something for everybody if you're a fan of pop culture, anime, animation, things like that.
Yeah, I had asked you, do you have any artistic abilities?
As a person, I am very artistic as an artist of the performing arts,
Right.
but not of the pen and paper.
Okay.
No, I don't, or computer. I'm not very good with drawing, and I'm not very artistic.
I'm getting introduced. I'm like knowing the lingo is like the digital artists and the AI. I'm saying, okay, what's the difference between the two?
Yeah.
But I heard earlier when you were talking to some of your fans. I'm just like I'm a huge Power Ranger fan.
You are.
And I didn't know that you were a part of. So is it all Saban era?
It was a lot of the Saban era. I mean, I started off at the tail end of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It also went into Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. It went into Masked Rider, and it went into Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Right.
I did voices on all of those series.
Nice.
Those were all Saban shows. And then there was a couple of Saban shows that were also anime. Like there's one that's called Super Pig. Super Pig is adorable, and Saban had the property on that one. Yeah, no, I don't know if anybody can find. If any of you can find it, I want to see it. Super Pig. It was adorable.
I'm gonna have to look. Is it along the lines of Hamtaro or something?
I don't know that one.
Oh,
Hamtaro.
Right.
No.
Okay.
No.
Super. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
No.
It's an old one.
Okay. Because I'm just.
We'll look online. We'll go search online.
Right. Okay. All right. Now. As far as your involvement, right, I'm trying not to get stuck on the Power Rangers again. Huge fan. So, like, have you where does your are you a fan of the show? Any of the
For
shows?
Power Rangers?
Right.
Okay, so I was a fan of Power Rangers, but I wasn't the kind of cosplay fan.
Okay.
Didn't have a lot of posters in my room, but I was watching Power Rangers when it was on television because it was very interesting to watch, and I was watching it when it was first released. I was a younger kid then.
Okay.
And then after that, I mean, I became not so much on the fan side as I was working more and more on the inside. I was very excited.
Okay.
I was so starstruck when I walked into the studio and I got to see the sound stage where they would film some of the American, like, original content scenes. It was pretty cool.
No, it was something totally different than Saban. Like, how did you get involved on that?
Well, as soon as I graduated from college, I was doing a play, and the voice director from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was with his family in the audience. And he said, "You were funny, and I like your voices, and I like your energy. What, you do voices? Come on, do some for Power Rangers." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So yeah, so my very first voiceover job was for Saban and for Power Rangers. That's what got me into the world of voiceover.
Nice.
I'm very, very grateful for Power Rangers, and I'm very grateful to Scott Page Padster, who was the voice director,
Okay.
and he was the one who scouted me and brought me into the project.
So are you familiar with Mr. Oliver?
Tony Oliver, very, yeah. I worked with Tony Oliver.
Because he was telling us backstories and everything. So I was just like knowing how everything came about. So
Yeah, and I would see what Saban had a very beautiful building that was in Westwood. And when I would go to that office building to record, that's where Tony was based, mainly.
Okay.
And I would see Tony there, and he was always very important, always very talented.
Nice. Yeah, so, and I know that Tony was also doing the voice act. Did he impart any words of wisdom to help with your career?
I mean, along the way, he's always been very instrumental. He's an excellent teacher. He's an incredibly gifted director. And it's weird. You got to pick up the knowledge all around. He's introducing me. Everybody listen. Listen. If you listen closely, you'll hear him introduce me. Wait. Ezra Weisz. Yeah, here it comes. Bring it up! That's how you got to do it.
This is true. Love it. Love it. No, well, think about it, because you're busy man. I got you. Now, as far as the Anime Expo, Amazing Art Expo.
Yeah,
Like,
Amazing
what were your initial thoughts like before it's coming in?
Well, first of all, the entire organization, the team here, they're incredible. They're really friendly. They're very passionate about giving great deals and beautiful art to their fans. And they always put together, different incentives and package deals. And I think that's great. And I know that everybody here is walking around with prints, and the line to check out is pretty big. So it's a pretty successful event. This is the second time I've done it. I did it once in Anaheim, California, and I had a great weekend there. And they said, hey, we have one in Atlanta. You want to go to Atlanta? I'm like, you kidding me? Hot Atlanta?
Right.
Sign me up.
Okay.
Let's go to the ATL.
Love it. Love it.
Go Dogs!
How close? Oh, the varsity. The varsity. Have you gone to the varsity?
No.
Okay.
But I know it's a scene.
Right.
I know it's
Okay. Like while you're here, it's right. It's right.
I
down
gotta
the
go.
street. Right.
Maybe I'll go tomorrow for lunch.
Got the slow dogs and everything. So
Yum.
you're here. Yeah, immerse yourself.
I will.
Now, I'm trying not to slip back into family mode.
Okay.
But as far as like what's coming down the pipe for you that you can actually.
All right. This has been a busy year as a voiceover director for anime for me.
Mm.
I directed season 3 of Konosuba,
Okay.
which was a riot. I also directed season 2 of Nier Automata, which is a gorgeous, beautiful, emotional property. The anime series is amazing.
Mm.
I'm currently directing the 3rd season of Re:Zero,
Okay.
which is very popular, and fans seem to be enjoying that.
True.
I did an anime, I did a JRPG video game earlier this year called Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven, which is a gorgeous, beautiful game. I mean, if you like Final Fantasy,
Right.
it falls within that universe.
Okay. Because I know that you voiced on Fire Emblem Three
Fire
Houses.
Emblem, yeah.
I'm my second playthrough
Okay.
on that. Like I didn't know that there was like it's not just a copy and paste.
No.
Different. I was like, oh, this is totally different.
Get new stuff.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So like as far as video games and anime, I know it's like apples and oranges. Like what would you lean more towards, either or?
Listen, when you do a video game, it's usually a shorter period of time. The kind of work is similar, although there's a whole chapter of work with a video game that is much different than anime. When it comes to making efforts and attacks and reactions, you have a whole library you have to make because you never know how they're going to apply that in the video game.
True.
When you do an anime, you're really following the story arc. You're involved in the journey. You're way invested for a longer period of time. You're also very invested in the video game and the characters that you voice. Sometimes in a video game, you could be voicing many different characters because some characters might not cross with the one that you voice already.
True.
So they're different. I mean, they're totally different, but the work and the way you approach the work is similar.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Yeah. You do on camera work as well. Where does that? Are you doing more on camera for getting that FaceTime?
Get my FaceTime. Well, I got a lot of energy, and my face tends to blow up a camera. I like to do my social media stuff, but when it comes down to film and television, I can be a little bit too big, as they say.
Okay.
Which is why it was really great for me to find voiceover. You can be but you can never be too big with voiceover.
This is true.
I mean, they'll take you down, but like they're encouraging to get the most out of you, right? So I really love voiceover for that because it lets me really, the energy that I want to bring to a part. But what I do in terms of like television production work, I get to be a comedian in the audience for a live television taping. So let's say if you go and see a show like on Nickelodeon, there's a show called All That.
Big fan.
So I was the audience warm-up guy
for
All That, making people laugh, keeping them engaged, getting the energy going.
Gotcha.
There's a show on the Disney Channel called Wizards of Waverly Place. I did warm-up on Selena Gomez was on that show.
Okay.
David Henry's on that show. Now they have it again. It's called Wizards Beyond Waverly Place as the saga continues. And I'm in the audience. So I'm involved in show business in that regards. I'm on the set and I'm working in the soundstage, got the audio, but it's a mixture of like being involved with the television show, but also being in theater and comedy with a live audience to respond to.
Because your background as far as doing stage plays here.
Right.
Okay. Nice. So, all right. So do you have a comedic?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I'm all about improv comedy, and I've always loved comedy. Comedy is like my first thing. In fact, the reason I got into voiceover through Power Rangers is because I was doing a very funny play and playing a bunch of different like high energy characters. And it was like, this is perfect for Power Rangers. I need someone to do monsters, to do fight scenes, to be silly. This guy sounds pretty fun, so they asked me to go and do it.
Nice. Okay. You always seem to circle back around the Power Rangers. Now, as far as Power Rangers, if you were a Ranger, which color would you be?
It would probably be Green Ranger. Is that your favorite
color?
Oh, is that right?
Favorite color.
It would probably be Green Ranger.
Okay. Any particular one?
No, I wouldn't know the difference.
Okay. Yeah, as long as he's green, you're good.
No, I think of the Ranger choices, I would pick the Green Ranger. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. Same.
See?
Yeah. It's not your favorite color, is it?
Green? No, I wouldn't think it's my favorite color.
Where are you partial?
I mean, I like green, but I mean, I really do favor all the colors.
Okay.
I don't really have a favorite. But when I was a younger dude in school, they would say like, "What's your favorite color?" And I would always go with like sky blue. That was my go-to answer. That was the Crayola color that I really was drawn to from all the 64 choices.
Right.
I really loved sky blue for some reason.
Okay. All right. Love it.
Yeah.
It's okay. Now, all right. So
I also like chocolate chip mint ice cream.
Same.
Okay. I like chocolate chip mint. I'm not a big fan of like chocolate cake. It's like too much overload. It's just
too much stimulus.
Overload on the chocolate.
Okay.
I do like chocolate, but I like a chocolate frosting with like a vanilla cake. So I like that sort of like yellow cake with chocolate frosting.
I try not to have a fat one.
Yeah, you know.
I love it. I got a big sweet tooth.
Yeah, me too.
That's
Big sweet tooth.
Gotta tone it down.
Yeah.
But as far as sports weekend, because I don't want your fans to get at me.
Yeah, we don't want to scare them.
So what can people expect when they come to Amazing Art Expo?
When they walk into the Amazing Art Expo, their first hit with all the tables filled with, as the title says, amazing art.
Yes.
And then when they make their way to the back of the room, they'll get to see banners like this. This one's mine. And they come to the table, and here we are, and we introduce ourselves, and We talk to if they're fans of anything that we work on. Very often people will be like, so I don't know who you are or what you're doing here. And I'll say, well, great, let me tell you, my name's Ezra. Here are some of the things that I've worked on and voiced on. And if that makes it clearer, then that's great. And they say hi and they say bye. And then there's other people who come in and they're like, I'm here to see you because I'm a fan of Miraculous Ladybug.
Right.
As I'm repping.
Right.
Or they'll say, oh my gosh, you were the voice of Kaname. Vampire Knight was the very first anime I ever watched. I love it so much. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, oh, you have a print. So they'll buy a print.
Mm-hmm.
And when they buy a print, I'll autograph it or I'll put a little quote on there, something about, how delicious their blood tastes or something. Kaname was a vampire. And then we'll take a picture together, a little selfie, and make memories together.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, you heard it here.
You heard it here. And
Sure.
Amazing Art Expo. Come on down.
Day one.
Yeah.
Still time.
Yeah, you still have time. You got 3 days, although today's one.
Right.
2 more days. Found it.